Hello, I'm the blind historian and I've got a question for you. What do you think is the world's most important invention? Now there's quite a few and you might be thinking, oh, I know, that's the wheel. But there are other things that it could be. I mean, for example, all you ladies, maybe it's the bra. Female emancipation, that really helped. Could be the internet or the mobile phone or fertiliser or possibly even the plough. I don't know what you think. I'll tell you what I think. Now you may or you may not agree with me, and that's entirely up to you. It'd be interesting if you'd like to pass a comment, say what you think, but I'll tell you what I think, and this has got absolutely nothing to do with anybody else, it's just my opinion. And I think it was the printing press. And I'll tell you why I think that. Up until the invention of the printing press, in around about 1450 or thereabouts, in order to write a book, you had to have somebody to be able to write it, literally sit down and write. They would copy it out. Now these scribes would usually be monks, and they would spend their day in a really cold or a really hot room with very little light, round a candle to try and get more light, and literally copy the words. Now, they were very good at copying, but I'll be honest with you, some of the things they didn't copy exactly. Some of them, they put their own opinion into it. Sometimes they thought that what was said was wrong, so they changed it. And other times it was an accident. For example, for years, we called Thomas Becket Thomas à Becket because a monk printed it out wrong. So you can see the problem. But not only that, because it was so painstakingly slow, it was really expensive. So people couldn't afford to buy the books. And if they could afford to buy the books, which was probably the price of a house in those days, they would be really rich. So only the rich people would really be able to read. So you've got really expensive, really hard to get hold of. So no wonder there weren't many books around. Once we had the printing press, it became so much quicker. So people would be able to access them in a quicker time. It therefore became cheaper. So more people would do it. So more people, not just theologians, not just religious people, but scientists and artists, and people would make up stories, so novelists and poets. And because it was more accessible, more people could read. More people wanted to read. There was even little pamphlets where people could write things that weren't particularly nice. There was a really horrible pamphlet about Robert Dudley circulating in the 16th century. So lots of things were going round. Some were not allowed, some were banned, and some were really, really important. But along with that, we got medical knowledge and scientific knowledge. For example, would Galileo have known about the way the stars were if it hadn't been for Copernicus? And Copernicus had it written down. We needed the writing. If it wasn't for that writing, that ease of printing, to get the written word, people wouldn't have been literate, people wouldn't have understood. And the medical knowledge, the scientific knowledge, the theological knowledge would not have been there. Without that, there would have been no education. Without the printing press, where would we be? It's really, really important. But that's what I think. So, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Or do you really think I'm talking rubbish? Which is fine, because I do that quite regularly. But on this occasion, I'm right. Thank you.